Welcome to RRR, Roulette Run Repeat, my take on a Path of Exile 2 roguelite mode. The goal is simple: see how far a randomly chosen build can go before our eventual death. Last run ended in maps, another begins on the beach. To start, we spin 2 wheels 3 times. One wheel decides our skill, the other decides our ascendancy. That gives us 3 possible builds, and we pick one, like a classic pick 3 roguelite. This run, our options were Explosive Grenade Amazon, Entangle Chronomancer, Fangs of Frost Warbringer. We just played an attack build, so this time, let's gamble on a spell. Entangle Chronomancer. The question now is, will this be our strongest character yet, or will this run end early? When you saw these 3 options, what would you have picked? And more importantly, how far do you think this one goes? In RRR, we play our selected build in Hardcore Solo Self-Found. Hardcore because just like a roguelite, death ends our run. Solo Self-Found because adaptation is the game. Our stash is our meta progression. Future runs get easier because we'll have more gear, more currency, more gold, and most importantly, more knowledge. When our eventual death comes, we break it down. What killed us, what we misplayed, and what we'll do differently next time. Roguelites aren't always about reaching the end. The journey to get there is just as rewarding. Let's see how far this one goes. Right away, meta progression is making life easy. Buy whatever we want and use items from previous runs. It's like Barbie's dream house out here. Let's talk Entangle. A root crawls forward, damaging enemies in its path. Vines damage and slow nearby enemies. I immediately run into an issue. Entangle requires strength. Juggling attributes early, not ideal. We're support starved at first. Damage feels okay, but not explosive. In our first temple, we get an upgraded chest. We outget resist and solid energy shield. Nice.
You think as I do.
We also 4-link Entangle. An extra support is another multiplier. Now we're scaling.
Carrier has arrived.
Bosses are still a little slow, so we start planning ahead. We path toward Wild Surge Incantation, the plant keystone, another more multiplier. And we engrave one of our tier 5 supports from last run, Branching Fissures 2. Endgame support in early campaign? This is where RRR meta progression shines. For once, we're ahead. Not surviving, not stabilizing, thriving. And that's a dangerous feeling in hardcore. Time for some permanent power. Crowbell drops a Book of Specialization which gives 2 passive points. We grab Una's loot, return it to her for another book and 2 more passive points. Finally, we take down the King in the Mist who drops the Gem Bloom Skull, giving us our first 30 spirit and a spirit gem. We turn our spirit gem into Mana Remnants. Mana Remnants have a chance to drop from killed enemies affected by elemental ailments. Additionally, they spawn when you critically strike enemies affected by elemental ailments. So, elemental ailments and crit to keep mana flowing. Got it. In the Mana Ramparts, we get our first level 5 gem, which we turn into Thunderstorm, which replaces Orb of Storms as our shock engine. Thunderstorm causes enemies to be drenched, making them more susceptible to shock and freeze. Additionally, plants become overgrown. Overgrowth makes Entangle last longer, but the true power of Overgrowth comes from the accelerated growth support, which causes an explosion and a plant overgrows. This accelerates everything. Case in point, the Act 1 finale is over before it begins. Good night, Geonor. Hyena? Easy. Entangle keeps enemies at bay, so no swarm issues. Right after, we grab Wild Surge Incantation. Now we're cooking.
Make use of me.
Ruja gets me once in her sadistic game of tag. Thankfully, I had enough fire resistance and life. We can shrug it off. Balbala down. Trial later. In Keth, we find our second temple. New focus.
It's beautiful.
Back in the desert, we bury Kalbala, read her book, and gain 2 more passive points. In the buried shrines, Azarian goes down clean. Time for Trial of Sekimus? Yes please. One of the cleanest we've ever had. Rattlecage almost dies before his first explosion finishes.
Very well.
Our first points go to Quicksand Hourglass, which provides a pendulum of area and cast speed. Zoom zoom. At this point I'm thinking, this might be the strongest RRR run yet. And that thought, that's usually when the run starts sharpening the knife. We test our new ascendancy on Iktob and Ekbob. They don't stand a chance. Neither does Zalman Wrath. In Deshar, we grab the final letter for Shambrin, return it to her for another book, which is 2 more passive points. In the Spires of Deshar, we touch a statue to gain 10% lightning res. We also open another temple. Our reward? Spell damage on our wand and cast speed on our focus. Are you kidding me?
Your command?
Act 2 finale? More like Act 2 dessert. Jamun-Ra melts in our mouth. We're not just clearing bosses, we're deleting them. Sandswept Marsh provides our first tier 9 gem. We expand our garden with thrashing vines. 2 vines grow and slam a nearby target. Overgrown vines are bigger and deal more damage. Very Little Shop of Horrors. Free stats? Don't mind if I do. The Mighty Silverfist gives us another book for 2 more passive points. In the Venom Crypts, we find the Corpse Snake Venom, return it to Servi for Stun Threshold. In the Azek Bog, we find out how strong we really are. Ignaduck doesn't even go to his fire phase. He just withers. Another Gemrot Skull, 30 more spirit. We add Convalescence, which allows us to start regenerating our energy shield at any point. Seems like defense will be a bigger issue than offense this run. The boosts keep on coming. In Jaquani's Machinarium, we take down Blackjaw to gain 10% fire resistance. We also find an insane staff. +2 to all physical spells, huge increased spell damage, increased physical spell damage, and cast speed. And the implicit spell, another more multiplier. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a moment. This weapon could last us until the end of the campaign, if we survive. And at this point, it feels like we will. Zicodal evaporates. And then it's time for a stroll through the Matlin waterways. We cruise the drowned city, forage for mushrooms in the apex of filth, and visit an old friend. In the Temple of Kopek, Katsuli melts, but we're using mana so fast our flask can't keep up. That's the first hint of weakness. Time for Trials of Chaos. Previously I said there was one rule. Don't fight the bird. Yeah, that bird. This run, it doesn't even feel risky. But that decision, it's important because it shows something. I'm comfortable. Maybe too comfortable. I need to know, are you fighting the bird here, or are you playing it safe? Second Ascendancy unlocked. Our points go to Volatile Reversal, Chrono Break? I mean footprints in the sand, which gives us a new tool to fix our mana issues. Temporal Rift. Too cool. Utsal. Closing in on the end of Act 3, we reach Viper Napuatsi, an important milestone in every hardcore run. Everything looks fine. Damage is good. The arena is under control. Then it's time for the spear phase. Taking hits here and there, playing loose, but we survive. Viper goes into an almost immediate second spear phase. We can do this. Again, I'm taking hits I don't need to. I dodge roll to recover, and I'm late, and I know it. That's it. Run over. Brutal. As is tradition, let's break down our death. What actually killed us? The spear phase. But the real mistake happened before it started. I went into the skill check with no energy shield. Because I was playing loose. Because I felt ahead. I positioned myself near the spear spawn. I could have stayed at the far end and bought more reaction time. Was this ultimately a positioning issue? What would you have done differently? I want to hear your take. Hardcore doesn't care how strong you are. It only cares whether you're ready. This run felt different. Stronger early, cleaner scaling, bosses melting. So was this our strongest character yet? It might have been. But power doesn't necessarily equal safety. In hardcore, dominance builds confidence. Confidence builds risk, and risk eventually gets punished. The stronger you feel, the less carefully you play, and the game only needs one moment. Entangle Chronomancer had the damage. It had the scaling. It just didn't respect the check. And hardcore always collects. See you on the next spin.